All right. So what we're here for today is our normal Wednesday podcast, and it's our stacking up episode. And we are today talking about basically the side of the football that is going to decide this game. Let's be honest. It's the Virginia offense versus the Notre Dame defense. And there are a lot of question marks, obviously, about this particular matchup, mainly because the Armstrong kid from Virginia is still, for lack of a better term, he's a game time decision. Yeah. And we may learn a little bit more as the week goes on here if we hear from Bronco Mendenhall, if he's actually going to play. But if he's healthy and he's cleared, he's going to play. And they need him to play. He's the trigger man for this offense. I think he's the second leading passer in the country. He accounts for over 400 yards a game. I mean, the dude's an offensive, juggernaut. And if he plays, Notre Dame's going to have their work cut out for him in this one.
Absolutely. And I look at this offense and I say to myself, you take the head off of the snake and the snake dies, right? But Brennan Armstrong it's hard to take the head off of a quarterback unless you can consistently put pressure on the quarterback with a front four.
Right. Absolutely.
If you can do that consistently, you have a great chance of muffling and smothering this offense. But a lot of teams have tried to do that. I think that game against BYU, they made a lot of early mistakes. I think it was more of them making mistakes than BYU really shutting them down. And they got behind, and then once they came back, they just didn't have the energy to keep up because their defense just didn't play a good game. They haven't played well all year. But there's a lot of pressure on Brennan Armstrong and with offense week in and week out.
Right.
And I think when you face off against a team like Notre Dame, that without Kyle Hamilton, there's still a good defense. We know with Kyle Hamilton, they become much better, especially against a multifaceted passing attack that they're going to face against Virginia. I hope he's cleared Saturday. I hope he walks onto that field, because if he does, that means there's something that Marcus Freeman can take away immediately from the arsenal that Brennan Armstrong would like to have. But like you said, the health of Brennan Armstrong, when you're dealing with ribs as a quarterback, that's at most, I think he might be 80%, 80, 85%. I don't think he's going to be 100%. And do you think that impacts the passing game or his scrambling ability?
It's all of the above. And I know that's possibly a cop-out answer, but he's averaging 30 yards a game on the ground, so which puts his total yardage average to like 425 yards a game, because he averages 395 through the air. But he's a dangerous runner. He's a slippery runner. He's very similar to Sam Howell in the fact that he's slippery, right? Mm-hmm. And he can make you pay. He can move the chains. He's not going to run away from you, but he can move the chains if you go man to man and you turn your back on him. And so it's a dual threat. He's a dual threat guy. He can hurt you with his legs. He can hurt you with his arm. And so, you've got to take into account both, because if you don't, he's going to burn you. And the drop off between him and whoever it is, whether it's Armstead or the other kid coming in, whoever it is, it's a huge drop off at the quarterback position. I mean, he is the trigger man, plain and simple. And
Armstead is a local kid, right?
He went to South Bend Adams. That's right. And the funny thing is, his senior year, I mean, this kid's a D1 quarterback, right? He's the backup at Virginia, and they went 0-10 his senior year. So I think that says more about the coaching staff than the kid, but they went 0-10 his senior year, but he's doing work over at Virginia. It's awesome for him. He was a one-man show, no question about it, in high school. But the kid's got a cannon for an arm, and he can run. He can outrun you. That's the difference with him. So, but the way I understood Bronco was that he is going to go with the other kid because he's more similar to Armstrong as opposed to Ira, who's more of a dual threat, like a legit read option type dual threat.
Right.
And so in order to not change the offense around as much, they would go with the other kid as the starter and keep Ira as the backup. I think that's the way I understood it.
Yeah. For me, we talk about going at the head of the snake. Isaiah Foskey, we know what he is, right? 9 sacks on the season, 7th nationally. We know what he's going to bring to the table. And we know he's dealing with an injury and fighting through it, but he's been spectacular. It's time for us to see a little bit more out of Jordan Botelho, especially rushing the quarterback. And Marcus Freeman needs to let him loose and let him get out after the quarterback and give us that tandem from the outside speed rushing. That would help greatly in this game, and then loose, your guys on the inside. I don't know if this was really, because I don't, Rob and I really doesn't even try to run the ball. He just doesn't.
Right.
He just doesn't. So Kurt Hinish in this game, like the Navy game was a Kurt Hinish game.
Oh, and
right?
he took advantage.
He took advantage.
Yeah.
Right? This is where you might see more of Cross, Jason, Justin do their thing, but we can go to more of a NASCAR front four.
Sure.
Because every down is a passing situation with Virginia. It's not like 3rd and 7, we know it's a passing situation. No, 1st and 10, 2nd and 5,
right.
3rd and short. Whatever, it's a passing situation. So you can go to a more of a NASCAR defensive line look and really get your pass rushes in there and get up the field and try to put pressure on this young man, especially, if he's going to be a little less mobile.
Right.